All right, so we're going to do another constraints assignment, and this one's going to be a little harder, but we're going to work through it. So I'm going to basically go off of what's in the Project Lead the Way document on 1.3.4, and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to go all the way kind of to the end. And this is what we're going for here. And then we're going to extrude it like this. So we're going to see how this goes. I haven't tried it yet, so might be some editing involved. But you can just follow me on how to do this. I feel like this first step right here can be roundly ignored. So I'm going to go and drop this over here. I'm going to start a sketch. And one thing I feel fairly certain of with the sketch is I know how to draw a rectangle really well. So I can start by doing that without any shadow of doubt. I'm going to do a center point rectangle because it looks like that's what they did in the drawing. And it's going to be 4 by 6. So 6 for the long side, 4 for the short side. I'm going to zoom in here. And the center point's on the origin, which I think is just beneficial in all sorts of ways. Now, I want to stay in that sketch. And I do want to put, it looks like they have 2 lines skewering the center, like so, in this drawing. And those 2 lines are center lines. So I do want, or construction lines. So I do want to turn these both into construction lines, which means we can reference them, but they're not going to affect our, whatchamacallit, our drawing in any way when we go to extrude. So it's going to ask us to do a polygon, and it looks like it wants inscribed polygons. Oh, no, it wants a circumscribed polygon for one and an inscribed for the other. So the inscribed means basically a circle would be on the inside of it. I'm going to draw this. So that's how they do it. And I'm going to change it to 5 sides. And there we go. And I'm going to dimension this. So it says from here to here is 0.5. And it says from the center point to an edge is 0.35. So there we go. The second polygon it wants on this line, and it does want a hexagon. All right, and I want it to be 6 sides. It's very, you got to do this like with the mouse, but my mouse is so sensitive. There we go, 6 sides. The dimensions on this one are from here to here. It should be 0.5. And then from here to here, it's looking for 0.25. All right, and the last one it wants is a triangle on this line. 3 sides. And it's looking for this dimension. The long side dimension would be 1.25. And it wants it rotated. Let's see, can I rotate it? I can rotate it. So perhaps the best way to go about it would be to make a coincidence for this to be on that line. There we go. So I did a coincidence, and that takes care of that business. And I believe this is also on the edge. Okay, so I've got those in there. And then it wants me to do a couple of things. So the first thing it wants me to do is it wants me to do a circular pattern. So I've got to do, there's transform, mirror, offset, circular pattern. So if you go to this one that's transformed, I can do circular pattern. So I want all of these. I can hold Alt and click on this line to unselect it. It is going around the center point. So I want it to happen 5 times. And that's good. And then you double click to finish it. Now I'm gonna make sure the constraints are dropped. Now, the next one it wants me to do is it wants me to do a rectangular or a linear pattern for this one. So I'm gonna select everything from this one. Okay. I'm switching the direction. I am changing the distance here to, let's say 0.75, because it doesn't give a distance, but I don't want it running into this. And then I'm going to have to hit check on that. And what I'm also going to have to do is I'm going to have to go into sketch 1 again, and I'm going to have to do it again. Linear pattern. I'm going to select these two. And I'm going to select for this 0 times. And for this one, I'm going to select 1 time. And for this one, I'm going to select 2 times. And for the distance, I'm going to select 0.75 to keep it even. So there we go. A double click, drops in. So I've got my linear pattern. And then this one, it just wants you to do it a bunch of times. Linear pattern. Once again, I'm selecting a line. I'm holding Alt to select more lines. 1, 2, 3. And I don't want this one at all. So this one I have to change to 1 time. And this one I want to change to a bunch of times, but I want to rotate this one. There we go. So I'm rotating it onto that point. And I want it to happen like 6 times. And I want this to be, this one I want to be 0. Maybe 6 times a little extreme. Let's say 3 times. Let's say 4 times at a distance of 1. Oh, that was the distance of the triangle, 1.25. There's the distance of the linear pattern. So let's make that 0.3. Okay. So I got my linear pattern there. It says it can't be solved, but that's okay. I'm gonna hit finish sketch. As long as they're all in there, we're good. And now it wants me to extrude these. So it wants me to extrude this big area. And then it wants me to grab certain areas out of here. I'm not visualizing that well. I'm going to go back. So this one's easy. It's figuring out what triangles it wants to keep. So I think it's going to want to cut that. It wants to keep this triangle, which means I want to get rid of this triangle. And then it wants to keep I didn't make enough triangles. So I'm going to actually go back to the sketch. I'm going to try to make this 6 times. And I'm going to shorten the distance a wee bit. 0.25. Change it to 5 times here. That'll do. This should be 1, which is why I think it's mad at me. And I'm going to hit finish sketch. All right, let's see if I can do this. So this has to be cut, but we want to save at least 2 of these. So there we go. We didn't get the third one in based on our spacing, but we got 2, and we're going to hit finish sketch. Oops, I missed one. Okay, so we use some drawing tools here and some constraints to make this block. I could have also straightened these up. If I go back to the sketch, I can easily kind of tighten this up here. If I did this with the original one, that wouldn't be a problem, but I did not. So we're going to live with it, but when I draw it in class, I'll make sure to fix that. And then it asks us to do some other stuff with that shape. I don't think we need to do that right now. We'll get into drawing the injection molded part next time. Okay, so there is that.